All right. Good morning, students.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Good
Jessica.
morning. Good morning.
How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, so
Good.
today, I'm glad that you guys are doing all good. Today, we are going to have our class number 2. All right. I have started recording our class and we are going to begin. I'm going to share my screen, okay? We're going to be looking at a PowerPoint. 1 second. Oh, darn. Hold up. This is the wrong one. Let me share it again. Where is it? PowerPoint. There we go. Okay. So can you guys both see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so today's topic, once again, we have inspirational people, all right? But we are going to have our biography of Martin Luther King Jr. Have you guys heard of him before?
Yes.
Have you, Jemmy?
Yeah, I have.
All right, okay, so right now, what you guys need to have in front of you is your notebook, okay? We are going to watch a Martin Luther King video, and you guys are going to write down, you're going to take notes about some information that you think is interesting or things that you have never heard about Martin Luther King. And then once the video ends, we're going to share our thoughts, okay? So you guys are going to first watch the video, and then you're going to write down any interesting notes, and then we'll share later, okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, let me share this, and I am going to put the video on right now. Oh. Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? Can you guys hear
That's where
it?
he gave his biggest speech.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dear Tim and Obi, can you do a Martin Luther King movie? Thanks, Amari.
Let me escuchar.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most important leaders of the American civil rights movement. That was the effort to extend equal rights to all people, regardless of race. Well, in the first half of the 20th century, that was a controversial idea. In many parts of the country, African Americans were barred from participating in ordinary life. They couldn't eat at the same lunch tables, go to the same schools, or even use the same bathrooms as white people. This practice of separating African Americans from white people was called segregation. In the South, segregation was enforced through Jim Crow laws. They made it illegal for African Americans to mix with whites. They policed black behavior, too. African Americans had to live in separate neighborhoods, hold specific jobs, and talk to whites with the utmost respect. Try to fight it, and you risk jail time, injury, even death. There were no Jim Crow laws up north, but unspoken rules still kept African Americans apart. In many places, white homeowners would only sell their houses to other white people. These informal codes ensured that African Americans remained second-class citizens. Martin Luther King grew up in the midst of all that inequality. He was born in 1929 to a middle-class family in Atlanta, Georgia. Both his grandfather and his father were pastors at a local church. King attended religious colleges up north, in Philadelphia and Boston. He noticed black and white people mixing more freely than he'd seen growing up. Though these cities had their share of racial tension, they were a far cry from the way things were down south. Dr. King moved to Montgomery, Alabama with his wife, Coretta, in 1953. He became a pastor and community leader. Around that time, a local woman named Rosa Parks was arrested for refusing to give her bus seat to a white man. King joined forces with activist Joanne Robinson to organize a massive boycott of the Montgomery bus system. Most black citizens of Montgomery refused to ride the buses for over a year. Of taking a bus. Dr. King's house was bombed, and along with dozens of other protesters, he was thrown in jail. But these injustices drew national attention to the issue. And in 1956, a Supreme Court decision banned segregated buses. After that victory, King helped organize a group of churches dedicated to nonviolent protests for civil rights. He was inspired by the life of Mahatma Gandhi, whose nonviolent leadership helped free India from British rule. Over the next decade, King led protests and marches all over the country. The biggest was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in the nation's capital to support civil rights. It was there that Dr. King delivered his momentous I Have a Dream speech.
One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
King's gift for public speaking helped inspire millions of people. His words gave them the hope and courage to believe in the future he envisioned. 2 years later, the protests he led throughout Alabama caught the world's attention. People watched in attack dogs on peaceful protesters. Well, people often feel threatened by change. In fact, making folks uncomfortable was kind of the point of all this protest. In a letter written from an Alabama jail, King said, "Nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and establish such creative tension that a community that has constantly refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue." In other words, things change only when conditions are made so stressful, people demand it. Oh yeah, King was arrested lots of times during these marches, but the result was worth it. His work pressured Congress to pass groundbreaking laws, moving society closer to his vision. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 overturned segregation laws around the country. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. He went on to fight against poverty and the Vietnam War. Then, in 1968, Martin Luther King was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. His killer, James Earl Ray, was captured months later. King was only 39 years old, but in his short life, he'd changed the face of this country. Without his influence, who knows how long it would have been before equal rights were protected for everyone. Yeah, you're right. We still struggle with racial equality to this day. But thanks to Dr. King and other civil rights leaders, we know that great change is possible.
I have a dream today.
All right. So, did you guys write down any interesting information that you guys found out about the video?
Yeah.
Could you share
Yes.
your thoughts, Jamie?
I wrote down that he was an important person in the civil rights movement.
All right, that's really interesting. Nice. Do you have anything else?
That if anyone broke the law, like white people and African American people couldn't mix together. They couldn't do the same things as white people.
All right, nice. What about you, Jesse? What interesting
But they
facts?
couldn't.
did you find?
I put that they couldn't eat together, the white and the black people,
Mhm.
and he was arrested many times, but it was worth it.
Okay, right. It was worth it because what was he trying to do?
Change.
Exactly. He wanted to create a change, right? No racism, nothing of that. He didn't want any of that to exist. So I think, like you said, Jesse, it is important. Well, it was a good reason that he went to jail, right? Because he was fighting for everyone's rights. All right. So once again, I'm going to share the screen. We are going to be looking at his picture. Here you go. Hold on a second. Excellent. So we have this slide right here. We are going to answer some of these questions. All right, and see after our reading, our text, see if the answers that we thought were right or were wrong. All right, so Jesse, we're gonna start with you. We're gonna analyze the picture and then we're gonna answer some questions, okay? This is gonna be our pre-reading activity. So who do you think this is, Jesse?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King, right? All right, Jamie, who do you think it is?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Excellent. Okay. Okay, so what do you think he is doing here, Jesse? In this
He was
picture,
doing the speech.
he is doing a speech, right? What about you, Jamie?
He's giving a speech.
Excellent. He's giving a speech. Okay. Another question. What year was his speech made? Do you know what year, Jesse?
No.
Okay. Do you want to guess like the year and see later if compare if it's and see if it's right or wrong?
1978.
1978. Okay, Jamie, do you know what year he gave his speech?
I'm gonna say 1960.
Okay, 1960. We're gonna see who's closer, okay? Where was he born? Jesse, do you know where he was born? Do you remember?
I think Africa.
Okay. We're gonna write Africa. What about you, Jamie?
Alabama.
Remember this? Alabama, okay. Hold on. What kind of boycott was he part of? Now, boycott is the type of protest. What kind of protest was he involved in? Were they dangerous? Did they have knives, guns, or were they safe boycotts?
The racing. He didn't want the races.
Uh-huh. So what do you think, what kind of boycott was he part of? Do you think it was like a safe boycott, a safe protest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
What about you, Jamie? What kind of protest was he part of?
He didn't want to use any violence. So they were pretty safe.
Any what?
He didn't want to use any violence.
Okay, non-violence, right? Excellent job. So later on at the end, we're gonna see if we answered this correctly. All right, so now, before we read, I am going to explain to you guys what the general idea is. Have you guys heard about that general ideas in a text? All right, Jamie, could you help me out with the first reading? It says the main idea.
The main idea is the point of the paragraph. It is the most important thought about the topic.
All right, so that is the general idea. So you're going to be looking at paragraphs and you're going to try to guess what is the general idea. What is the text mainly about, right? Okay, the second thought. Jesse, could you help me out to figure out?
To figure out the main idea, ask yourself these questions. What is being said about the person, thing, or idea, the topic?
Excellent. Okay, so that is the general idea. So please when we read this biography about Martin Luther King, we have to keep in mind what is the general idea of each paragraph, okay? So right now, if you guys have your PDF about Martin Luther King, you guys could pull that up, okay? So you guys could read along with me. Let me just put that one up too. Here we go. No, that one's not it. Hold on 1 second. That is the activity. Okay, so I have our PDF on the computer. If you guys want to use yours on your screen, it's okay. All right. So this text is going to be about Martin Luther King, like I said. So I'm going to start off with the first paragraph. Please keep in mind, if you guys want to write down the main topic, the general idea for this paragraph, the one that I'm going to read, please write that down, okay? So later we could compare and see and write down which is the general idea for paragraph number 1, all right? So I'll read this slowly, okay? Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, okay? At this time, the country was segregated. Segregation is when people are separated according to groups, like racial groups. Martin was not allowed to go to the same school as white kids. He was allowed to sit near them at restaurants. He did not like segregation and he wanted to see a change. He became a leader. All right. So please write down like a general idea that you guys could fit for the first paragraph. Later, when we finish the text, we'll compare, okay? So now, Jesse, could you help me with the second paragraph? 1.
One way that he was a leader was during the Montgomery bus boycott. In December of 1955, the boycott began, and boycott is when people refuse to buy or use something or go somewhere. To purpose of the boycott is to protest or ask for something to change. This boycott began when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white person on the bus. Dr. Martin Luther King helped organize the boycott.
All right. So you guys could write down also like a general idea for this paragraph. What is the paragraph talking about? Okay. All right. Let's go with the third one. I'll read this one. It says, Martin Luther King Jr. is known for his I Have a Dream speech. It was made in 1963. He was at the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where people wanted to show support for equal rights. They wanted jobs and freedom. His speech gave people hope. The march was successful. In 1964, the Civil Rights Act was passed. The law said that there would be no more racial segregation. Okay, so now we have in 1968, Jamie, could you help me out there?
In 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. went to Memphis, Tennessee to help workers who wanted changes in their jobs. While he was there, he was shot and killed. The person who killed him did not like Martin Luther King's message.
Exactly. Jessica, last paragraph. Martin.
Wait. Wait, where?
Martin Luther King Jr.
Martin Luther King Jr. was an important leader in the United States. People all over the country were sad when he died. Now we celebrate Martin Luther King January each year. This holiday gives us the chance chance to honor his hard work for civil rights.
Exactly. All right. Thank you, guys. So now we're going to go to the first paragraph. All right. I'm going to read this one more time, and you are going to share your ideas and tell me what is the general idea for the first paragraph. Okay. So Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15th, 1929. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia. At this time, the country was segregated. Segregation is when people are separated according to groups like racial groups. Martin was not allowed to go to the same school as white kids. He was not allowed to sit near them at restaurants. He did not like segregation, and he wanted to see a change. He became a leader. So what do you guys think is the general idea for that paragraph?
He did not like the segregation.
Okay, he did not like segregation. Jamie, do you want to share your idea? What do you have down?
I think it's kind of like an introduction to his life and what was happening in the world and what he wanted to do.
Exactly. So, we could write down a brief introduction about his life and what he wanted to change in the world. All right. So do you guys agree with that? A brief introduction about his life and what he wanted to change in the world, right? Okay. So the second one, it says one way that he was a leader. One way that he was a leader was during the Montgomery Bus boycott. December of 1955, the boycott began. A boycott is when people refuse to buy or use something or go somewhere. The purpose of a boycott is to protest or ask something to change. This boycott began when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat to a white person on a bus. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. helped organize the boycott. Okay, so Jessica, could you tell me what the general idea is for the second paragraph?
The second paragraph.
You could read it once more if you need it, and then let me know.
I think I need time. Wait, hold on.
Okay, you could read it. And then Jamie, take a look at paragraph number 3 and write down your idea for what the general idea is, okay? So Jessica,
When Rosa Parks refused to give her seat to a white person, Martin Luther King helped organize the boycott.
exactly. So Martin Luther King Jr. organized the boycott. All right, and since he helped organize the boycott, what was he? He was considered a, what was he considered? A, what do you think?
A leader?
Exactly. He was considered a leader, right? Okay. All right, Jamie, could you share your thought about the third paragraph?
I think the third paragraph is just mostly talking about how he became kind of famous and over the world for
All
his I
right.
Have a Dream speech, and the
Exactly.
Civil Rights Act was passed.
Exactly. That's correct. So, Martin Luther King Jr. Becomes known for his I Have a Dream speech, right? So across America, everyone heard this. This was it was a boom, right? Everyone was able to hear this. And it helped pass the Civil Rights Act. So it was a major thing, right? All right. The fourth paragraph, Jesse. It says in 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. went to Memphis, Tennessee to help workers who wanted to change their jobs. While he was there, he was shot and killed. The person who killed him did not like Martin Luther King's message. So what is the general idea about this paragraph? What do you think?
That when Martin Luther King was trying to help the workers, wait.
Exactly, when Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to help workers, what happened to him?
They killed him because they didn't like him. There
Exactly.
was some racism.
Exactly. When Martin Luther King Jr. wanted to help workers, he got
Killed.
and killed, right? So that was the main idea. And the last one, Jamie, it says Martin Luther King Jr. was an important leader in the United States. People all over the country were sad when he died. Now we celebrate Dr. King in January each year. This holiday gives us the chance to honor his work, his hard work for civil rights. So what is this paragraph talking about?
Basically just saying that we celebrate him now for all his hard work that he did.
Exactly. Good job, Jamie. It says, so we could put, people able to celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. hard work. All right. So these are the general ideas for each paragraph. You guys did an excellent job. Thank you. So now we have, let me see. I am going to share now the last activity. So I have sent you guys this document. I'm going to share so you guys could see. This is going to be our post-reading activity. We have a timeline and our instructions. It says, please drag the ideas to its correct place on the timeline from left to right. Okay, so we have these ideas. We have 4 ideas. Jamie, could you help me out with the first one? It says Martin Luther King Jr.
Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed in Memphis, Tennessee.
Excellent. Jesse, could you help me read this idea, Martin Luther King Jr.?
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Excellent. Jamie, the next one, the third idea.
Martin Luther King Jr. led the Montgomery bus boycott.
Exactly. And Jessica, the last idea, Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech.
Excellent. So what we have to do, we click on the idea and we move it to the place that it belongs to. Okay, so you have to do it from left to right in order. So I sent you guys that document. Please complete that. You guys have like 5 minutes and then you guys send it to me. Okay, you let me know that you have sent it to me so I could give you guys a note. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing the screen and you guys could complete the activity. Let me know when you guys have sent it to me, okay? You guys could take a picture. Take a picture of what you guys have done, and then you could send it to me through the message, okay?
On my computer, it only shows up to
2 ideas.
yes.
Do you think one is like under the picture?
I don't know. Mm,
Yeah.
and it doesn't let me click or like move something.
All right, so if it's easier for you, I'm gonna share once again my screen, and you guys could like make your timeline, okay? Like on your notebook. I have shared the screen, okay? So like in your notebook, like do a quick timeline and then write the ideas, okay? And then take a picture and then send it to me. Okay, so Jamie, I have received your picture. I'm gonna correct that, okay? So you guys have like 5 minutes for that. Exactly correct. Excellent. So, Jamie, excellent job. It's correct. So, let me just write that down. Jamie, Jesse, timeline, 100.
Ya me va la mano de escribir.
All right, so, oh, okay, okay. Hold up. I'll put it back up. There you go. In a minute, I'm gonna be sharing you guys a quiz, okay, about Martin Luther King Jr. You guys press on the link. It will lead you to like a quiz format, and you guys gotta answer the 9 questions and then send it to me, okay? Are you done, Jesse?
I'm done.
All right.
Yes.
So take a picture of that and send it to me, okay? So I could put your grade. Let me just get the link for the test. And I'm gonna send it through the chat, through Zoom.
Tengo ganas de-
No, all right, so here is the link. Please press the link. It will lead you to the quiz. I am also going to share the quiz right now. All right. You guys have until 9 o'clock. Sorry, 8. Yeah, 9. Until 9 to answer this. Please enter your name. And the first question, where was Martin Luther King Jr. born? Jami, could you read the second one?
Who was Martin Luther King's wife?
Exactly. Jessica, could you help me with the third question? Before?
Before getting involved in the civil rights movement, what was Martin Luther King's job?
Exactly. Number 4, what was the first major civil rights action that Martin Luther King led? Number 5, Jami, could you help me?
What did Rosa Parks do to get arrested?
Excellent. Number 6, Jesse, what name?
One name has been given to the speech Martin Luther King gave in March on Washington.
Excellent. 7, what type of protest did Martin Luther King Jr. organize? Number 8, how did Martin Luther King Jr. die? All right, so these are going to be the 8 questions that you guys got to answer. Please let me know when you guys are done so I could correct that too, okay?
My quiz isn't loading, so I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's not loading? What about yours, Jesse? Did yours
I'm
load?
almost done. I'm almost done.
Okay, hold up. Let me see if I send it again. Email, copy. Okay, Jamie, let me know if you can open it now, okay? Did it work, Jamie?
It's still loading.
All right, let me see if I send it to the group, our group, maybe like through your phone. Jesse, don't forget to send me the picture of the activity.
I finished.
Póngame esa, la gasa, la gasa no.
Okay, excellent, Jesse. All right, let's just wait until Jamie. Jamie, are you
I
done?
finished. Yeah, I finished.
Okay, excellent. Jesse, have you sent me the,
Right now.
okay. All right, girls, so this will be the end of today's class, all right? So tomorrow, I'm gonna be seeing you guys again, all right? Thank you so much, guys,
Yes.
and take care, all right?
Okay. Bye.
Bye.